I'm saddened to announce that one of the dojos here has tarnished that tradition by cheating.
Viewers beware, this contains spoilers for the ending of Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 2. Today we have 5 theories about what could happen in Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 3. Axel may just be a side character, but he's the single most dangerous competitor in the Sekai Taikai. And following Quan's epic Part 2 death on live television, Axel is bound to have an even more lethal reputation in the show's upcoming last episodes. Yet while this will be a boon for any other competitor in the Sekai Taikai, Axel is cut from a different cloth. Combined with the Iron Dragon's Sensei Wolf being ill-equipped to help the teen process something of this magnitude, Axel may just decide to give up karate for some time. But don't worry, if this does happen, it's going to be just temporary. Following what is inarguably the most traumatic event on the entire show, Cobra Kai is bound to examine the effects on the most immediately affected teen cast member. As the stoic warrior feared by everyone competing in the Sekai Taikai, Axel's journey will almost certainly lead to an epiphany of sorts, especially as Cobra Kai approaches its very last story arcs. With Axel racked by guilt, even Sensei Wolf could eventually be moved to see the error of his cruel ways. In any case, by temporarily taking off the most dangerous piece on the chessboard, Cobra Kai can then set up his return as the final boss, the sole obstacle blocking either Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai from making history. And with Axel having gone through the ringer to achieve an even more lethal level of focus, he'll be the perfect challenge for the competitor fated to win the tournament in the very last episode, based on how the plot has moved forward in Season 6, Part 2. That may sound crazy, but here's something crazier. Robbie will still fight for Johnny, who will become Cobra Kai's sensei again. And even though all this seems insane now, Johnny and Robbie fighting for Cobra Kai may actually be the most logical finale for the show. The series is called Cobra Kai, so it needs to end with Cobra Kai coming out on top. The big twist will be that in the end, Cobra Kai itself will be redeemed by Johnny, the show's real protagonist, who in turn will complete his transformation into a sensei. Indeed, despite Johnny's dark history with Cobra Kai, he may not be able to escape his role in the bigger picture. As Cobra Kai never dies, the only way to keep it in check is to become the head of the snake itself, the role that Johnny has been leading to his whole life. Moreover, his son Robbie is just crazy enough to go along with this plan, especially if it means getting to compete alongside Tori again. After all, it's arguably the best way for these Miyagi-Do fighters to honor Quan's death as a Cobra Kai fighter. However it all goes down, Robbie still needs to redeem himself in the Sekai Taikai. And while Miguel is already both a champion and has an assured place in a nice college, Robbie needs this win. Although he was too distracted to be effective in the last episodes, a focused Robbie supported by Tori could conceivably defeat Axel of the Iron Dragon's dojo. With Johnny once again leading Cobra Kai, but with Robbie instead of Miguel as his champion, the show can both circle back to its beginnings and pave the way for the eponymous dojo's future. However the cast will finally defeat Silver, it needs to involve a decisive win for Cobra Kai. As for the female division of the Sekai Taikai,
in our girls bracket, the first semi-final will be
Iron Dragon's Captain Zara was painted as a villain from her Season 6 debut onwards, and Cobra Kai is the show where villains turn their fortunes around. Perhaps more importantly, Zara is the most agile and skilled fighter in the competition. It's true that in a street fight, Tori would take the victory in a bloody and brutal fashion, but as much as Tori needs a win right now, within the confines of the Sekai Taikai's point-based rule system, Zara is unchallenged as the eventual tournament champion. Even if this does happen, Cobra Kai can still give Tori a good ending. While it may seem tragic not to give the win to Tori, the reality is that everyone who's even made it to the Sekai Taikai already has a bright future ahead of them. Even if Zara beats Tori on the mat, Tori's performance is bound to catch the attention of those who see her true potential as a champ. In fact, depending on everyone's conduct in the televised tournament finals, every teen fighter in the Sekai Taikai could be welcomed by either the college or dojo of their choice. After all, when the dust settles, the show will need a fairly believable happy ending for most of the show's teenage cast members. Zara and Tori may even reconcile out of mutual respect after they've hashed things out on the mat. But what about the senseis?
Hey, hey, hey! What the hell are you two doing?
Apart from the obvious foreshadowing of this fight, Season 6 has faced criticism for the Sekai Taikai's somewhat tame and point-based rule system. So in the finale, the Sekai Taikai could introduce a mechanic that will make it feel more like an old-school kumite. If Robbie fights for Cobra Kai to face off against Axel of the Iron Dragons, they may just cancel each other out and fight to a tie. The same could also happen if the final fight goes down between Tori and Zara, whose strengths and weaknesses may also make them evenly matched. And when this happens, the show could reveal a new badass rule in the Sekai Taikai. In order to break a tie during the tournament's final match, the senseis of the two dojos must fight to a decisive TKO or knockout in a no-holds-barred, no-time limit match. After the tragic and controversial death of Cobra Kai's Quan, this may allow the Sekai Taikai to show the world what karate is really all about.
Cut the feed!
Most importantly, this will be the moment where Johnny truly redeems himself as his character arc comes full circle. By using the teachings of Miyagi-Do and everyone else he's fought and trained with before, Sensei Lawrence must survive whatever hell Sensei Wolf will put him through, and somehow secure the victory in the ending. It must be a hard and brutal fight, and Johnny will almost certainly strike first. Johnny can even conclude the fight with the same crane kick that Daniel destroyed him with in the 1984 All Valley Tournament. But in the end, when Johnny decisively gets the upper hand, Cobra Kai will show mercy. Rather than a final knockout blow, Johnny will extend a hand to pull his defeated opponent off the mat, and thus begins a new age for Cobra Kai. Still more competitive than any dojo in existence, but balanced and ego-checked by the teachings of Miyagi-Do. In fact, Johnny is bound to soften even more once their new baby is around the house. In his transformation into this new sensei, Johnny could see and train his students as his children rather than soldiers in a never-ending karate war.
That was a great shot.
And rather than going over Johnny's head like Kreese did in the earlier seasons, Kreese could legitimately help Johnny build a new legacy for Cobra Kai. After everything they've been through, Johnny could find it in his heart to somehow forgive Kreese, but only if Kreese takes this chance at redemption seriously. This would assure audiences that even though Cobra Kai is back, it's not going to be like before. In fact, if Johnny somehow pulls all this off, there's a real possibility that
just take it slow.
No, not take it slow. We gotta go after him.
with a new and reformed Cobra Kai taking over the work of teaching karate in the Valley, Daniel could make good on his promise to Amanda to retire from Miyagi-Do. The dojo itself doesn't have to close, but Daniel could finally let go of his quest to protect the Valley from Cobra Kai. Rather than competing with Cobra Kai or other dojos, Miyagi-Do could return to being an independent dojo, open to anyone willing to learn and unlearn for physical and mental growth. After unearthing Mr. Miyagi's dark past, Daniel now knows that even killers and career criminals can completely turn their lives around. So after the Sekai Taikai, Daniel could rest easy knowing that Sensei Lawrence of Cobra Kai is still spreading the teachings of Mr. Miyagi.
2-on-1. Might actually get a good workout.
How do you think Cobra Kai will end for Miyagi-Do? Tell us your theories in the comments and keep watching Screen Rant.